Good God. We'll never survive this. For England! For the Empire. Welcome to Afghanistan. We're going to be trying to stop an absolutely massive attack by an irregular Arab force here, my friends. And as you know, we are, of course, in country as the British, but we don't have nearly as many men as the enemy does. So it's going to be interesting to see just how we deal with this, if we can deal with this, in fact. Let's see how we come out at the end of this battle. I'm thinking we might be able to get a victory, but considering the force we are facing, including a massive amount of enemy cavalry, just to make this extra realistic, it's going to be interesting. Well, let's get to it, boys. For the Queen, or is it the King? So we can't barely make out anything, really. In fact, maybe we should have waited with our artillery, but I think the first thing we should do is get some men on top of these hills and prepare to defend. Prepare to fire, really. Even trying to see... Oh, beautiful. At least the howitzers can be fired. Hoping that actually gets the enemy well. That's a nice start. As for our cavalry, we don't have nearly as many cavalry units, but I'm going to try to save them for the end of the battle, although you can see the enemy actually pushing their cavalry over there. Can we get to the top of the hill? Or, no, I don't even think it's worth it, actually. We are going to stay in a defensive position, especially since they outnumber us. Let them come down to us. And if we need to, we can get in that square formation. Don't worry, boys. Just a regular day on the front. A massive Afghan force. Oh my, they're already firing. And these are the irregular Afghan hillmen. This is one of the terrifying things about being in Afghanistan, is it seems they've learned to use our weapons quite efficiently. We'll have to see how this goes. Oh my goodness. We have to advance. Forward, boys. Forward with the flag. Yeah, I did not expect this. Dealing with the Afghan hillmen is going to be tough, so we have to push the cavalry in. I'm not going to just rush in. I'm just going to go with a trot for now. At least the rifle company can spot them, but again, for our infantry, we have to get right up close and personal. They're just simply not used to these distances for contact. We also have to watch out for the enemy cavalry. There we go. Actually, already spotting enemy cavalry unit right there. An Arab cavalry squad. Not bad at all. Alright, still plenty more where that came from. Look at that. So they're immediately moving in with the cavalry units. Thankfully, we're knocking them down with these, it seems. It's really the infantry, I think that's the problem. So let's just keep our focus there. Keep it up, boys. Afghanistan is a wild country, but you shall live. You shall make it through, I promise you that. Let's go for it. So we've knocked down the first group there. Just one more volley. There's too many of them. Come on. Charge. And even with the Royal North British Dragoons, we're going to head in there and try to take on the camel gunners. A bit of a mishmash here, but I think the cavalry attack is quite important. In fact, I'm almost tempted to do a bayonet charge. Though again, we can't forget the enemy greatly outnumbers us. Just look at that. Might not be the best time for a bayonet charge. Let's keep on firing. Switch over here to another portion of the battlefield. Alright, that's not a good sign. Some of our men are actually falling back. Let's get to the top of that hill. Definitely not a good sign. Some cavalry retreating. Is that the Royal North Irish Dragoons retreating? Wow. Okay, let's try to get into square formation here. It might be a bit too late. The Afghan hillmen were upon us before we could even see them. Just absolutely amazing. I'll try to relieve our men by attacking the Kurdish horsemen here. We've got camels all around them. It does look like they did manage to get in the square, but how long can we survive? Here we go. Come on, boys. Don't give up. Don't give up. I knew it was going to be tough with this lack of manpower. But some of our men are still holding on. This must be Sharp's brigade, or at least the equivalent, over here in this battle. Nice shooting. Very nice shooting. Alright, let's move up the Grenadiers. Hopefully they can make quite a difference. But still plenty of Afghan hillmen up here. And all sorts of armed enemy units. Put an end to the British Empire. Fire! We simply have to keep up the fire. Let's see where the damn general is, and I'm gonna bring him over here as quickly as possible. Obviously, we will continue with this, but I want to see if we can actually turn our cannon into a canister shot here. It's gonna be much more effective against the camel gunners and the rest of the enemy units. Come on, boys. Come on, no time to dilly-dally. Come on, boys. I think we've knocked down the first line. Of course, I've kept the flags off for realism here, so that it actually looks like we're in a real battle, and we can't barely see the enemy. They do have, of course, the general's bodyguard there, and yes, it is the Mughal Empire, but use your imagination here, folks. We're gonna have to kick on the elephants as well. I think that's the only part that would not be correct to Afghanistan. So far, so good. Look at the losses on the enemy side. And our side, to be fair. Pushing forward. Stop here. Unfortunately, it looks like the Mughal enemy has taken out our artillery here. And just dealing with their cavalry alone is going to be really tough. I think we might just be able to deal with their infantry, but look at these sword units. My goodness. Don't give up, man. Don't give up. I wonder if we should just go ahead and get into... Yeah, I'm just going to get into square formation now. At least with that unit. Keep it up, keep it up. So far, so good. We're going to have to switch here, though. Turn around and try and face the enemy cavalry. They just have so many that if we want to win this fight, we absolutely have to knock them out first. Here we go. Square. Fire. I'll even send in the general's bodyguard because, let's face it, we're right at the end here. Just to get one good charge, maybe knock a few of them down. Now we'll fall back with the general. Once again behind the line. It does look like the hillmen, etc., most of them have run. There's still plenty to deal with. That's right, hold the line, Grenadiers. Hold the line.
Orders understood. Grenadiers. Close to range.
My God, man. It's come down to just the last few brigades, and I'm sure there were battles in Afghanistan just like this. Absolutely brutal. I think I now want to focus on the swordsmen, because once they get to our line, it's going to be bayonets against swords, and I don't think bayonets win that fight for the most part. Although if they're trained by the British, maybe, just maybe they do. Come on. We're even attacking our general here, but we are knocking down quite a few of their number. And there we go. It looks like they are falling back. That's what I like to see, guys. Place your bets now. What do you think? Can we win this fight, or is it over for us here?
Open fire!
Alright, General, get back. Looks like we've sent the rabble-rousers back, but there's still Afghan shooters up here. The Afghan hillmen with their very, very good, if I may say so myself, accuracy. So I just want to get the General over here so at least he's not affected. We can maybe even attack with him. But let's be safe. Let's act like a real general would and keep our distance, maintain our distance here. Of course, those Afghan hillmen can kill him at a distance. Fight to the last, boys. There we go for Her Majesty. So many good men died this day, but I think it was worth it. I really do, guys. I mean, just what a beautiful fight. It continues, of course. We now have to give chase to the Afghan hillmen up here. I'm going to get the General away from all this carnage. It's just unacceptable for a man of his caliber to see these things, of course. And, of course, we're letting the rest of these get away. No, we still have Kurdish horsemen coming back. And the enemy's general's bodyguard.
Yes, sir.
That's going to be a problem. Let's hope that we can knock down a few of the hillmen at least. I don't want these men to die on my watch. My goodness. Turn and fire. Let's get the General over here. It's time to get into square formation. This is the last stand. The very last stand.
Orders understood. Immediately.
Here we go, guys. We're keeping the General inside, and as you can see, I'm just going to hold in square formation at this point.
General, stop for the hill.
We've still got a few enemies approaching here. Wait a minute. No, don't run. Oh, I got worried there. Don't be cowards, boys. Still got quite a few enemies around, and it looks like some of the hillmen have returned, but we will fight to the last man if that's what it means. There we go, it begins. And they are shaken, but they're not running. I think they're just looking for the right angle to attack here. And with the Afghan hillmen at a distance here, it's gonna be really tough to make it out. It looks like the General has given up the ghost. He's leaving this fight. We'll never be back. Now it's down to the Grenadiers, boys. The Grenadiers, can they bring home victory for Great Britain? I don't know if it's even possible. We're going to have to get out of this formation. We're going to have to go into line formation, and it's going to come down to a bayonet charge. There's no other way. If we can't break them with the bayonet charge, we can't break them at all. The problem is I think they're going to act like proper missile units and actually run. Yep, just as I expected, so cancel that. Open fire on the ones in front of us. Keep it up, boys. What a coward. That General is an absolute coward. I hope he's going to get chewed out for that, but unfortunately he left many men behind. Sort of our version of the Alamo here in Afghanistan. Actually, the Afghan hillmen are still trying to kill our General. That's crazy. Let's see what happened to this guy. This guy hopefully survives. He somehow made it off the battlefield, but I think even our Grenadiers here are starting to face reality and starting to consider running away. They are concerned about casualties sustained. That's it, my friends. We did our best. I'm hoping that some of our men do manage to escape this absolutely dreadful situation. But as you can see, we did come down to the very end. Actually, losses were fairly close. but we didn't have as many men as the enemy did. Anyway, if you like these kind of battles, just kind of random battles that I put together, I try to occasionally research the actual conflict, specifically if we're going to do like an actual real battle instead of just a fictional one. Then let me know in the comments down below, and let me know by liking, commenting, and subscribing. Thank you so much, take care, and I'll catch you on the next one, my friends.